Welcome to our channel. Today, we have the following news. Tourism Trust, Zhao Lusi, Little Courage, and the Crisis of Celebrity Public Welfare. On April 11, 2025, a seemingly heartfelt moment from the Mango TV variety show Little Courage catapulted Zhao Lusi back into the center of public discourse. The clip that set social media ablaze showed Zhao Lusi choking up and shedding tears upon hearing the flutter of the Chinese national flag. She tearfully recalled childhood memories of flag-raising ceremonies, emotive, patriotic, and raw. The moment appeared tailor-made to inspire national pride and promote the program's healing narrative. However, the response from viewers was anything but unanimous. While some were touched by what they perceived as genuine emotion, many more questioned the sincerity of Zhao's display, pointing to her earlier controversial behavior on the show as evidence of performative compassion. The backlash wasn't merely about a tearful reaction, it signaled a broader skepticism about the authenticity of celebrity-led charity programming. Zhao's emotional breakdown over the flag stood in sharp contrast to previous episodes, in which she was seen haggling over the price of local products and casting doubt on the motives of local artisans preserving intangible cultural heritage. While she later professed her lifelong emotional attachment to the five-star red flag, audiences dug up older footage of her complaining about the demanding filming schedule to villagers living on less than 1,000 yuan a month. Others criticized her seemingly elitist remarks, likening them to the infamous "why don't they eat meat porridge?" a tone-deaf response to the realities of rural life. This sharp reversal in public sentiment reveals a growing double standard in how audiences assess celebrity charity work. On one hand, celebrities are expected to radiate positivity and do good. On the other, any deviation from humility or empathy quickly invites fierce scrutiny. In Zhao's case, her image as a survivor of depression, an identity initially embraced by fans, was called into question when her behavior seemed out of touch with the lived experiences of those she was supposedly helping. The show's producers, caught in the crossfire, made things worse. In an attempt to control the narrative, they swiftly deleted controversial segments and edited promotional language, removing buzzwords like healing and public welfare. This damage control only deepened public distrust. Many viewers saw these actions not as responsible content moderation but as a calculated retreat, revealing the show's true motives, manufacturing controversy for clicks, only to backpedal when the heat got too intense. This controversy reveals a troubling truth about the current landscape of reality television and celebrity-driven philanthropy in China. While programs like Little Courage are branded as socially conscious, their underlying mechanics are governed by the economics of virality. Zhao Lusi's participation, reportedly unpaid, became a marketing point. Breathtaking rural landscapes served as visual bait. Her tears became monetizable drama. In this ecosystem, public welfare becomes a veneer, useful for branding, but hollow at the core. Sociologist Irving Goffman's dramaturgical theory is a helpful lens here. According to Goffman, social actors perform differently in front-stage and backstage settings. Zhao Lusi's emotional display, though convincing on the surface, clashed with earlier footage showing a lack of contextual sensitivity. The dissonance between her emotional performance and her perceived real-life disconnect unraveled the show's narrative of empathy and recovery. Audiences began to question not only Zhao's sincerity but the very structure of the show itself. Moreover, the handling of the intangible cultural heritage segment illustrates how public welfare concerns are often reduced to aesthetic or dramatic spectacles. Artisans and villagers are rarely treated as equals in these programs. Instead, they are props to enhance the celebrity arc. Zhao's remarks, however unintentionally dismissive, highlighted an economic and cultural gap that the show made little effort to bridge. Rather than facilitating cross-class understanding, Little Courage exposed the inadequacies of elite-led charity, where empathy is filtered through a lens of privilege. Public sentiment toward celebrity charity has changed. In the past, fans might have forgiven missteps with the rationale that at least they're trying, but in Zhao's case, the criticism has been sharper and more rational. Her complaint about only sleeping 2 hours a night, delivered from a modest countryside guest house, was met with biting sarcasm. Farmers here work 12 hours a day. Who will cry for them? This growing awareness marks a cultural shift. Audiences now demand substance over symbolism, action over effect. Zhao's past controversies, such as allegedly ordering an assistant to put on her socks or reportedly speaking rudely to co-star Wu Lei, resurfaced in the wake of this incident, reinforcing a perception of aloofness and emotional detachment. In the age of carefully curated public images and star-customized reality shows, the public is increasingly wary of the so-called public welfare persona. The editing and backpedaling by the show's producers only fueled the narrative that this was less about charity and more about traffic. The fallout from Little Courage offers a cautionary tale. If celebrity-driven public welfare remains at the level of emotional spectacle, it risks not only public backlash but also long-term damage to the credibility of charitable programming. For these shows to regain trust, they must move beyond token performances. That means dismantling the savior-victim binary, inviting genuine participation from marginalized groups, and setting ethical boundaries on what can and should be turned into entertainment. Public welfare programming must return to its roots, awareness of real social issues. Topics like the preservation of intangible cultural heritage or the urban-rural education gap deserve thoughtful, documentary-style exploration, a grave law the infinite road, not reality show dramatics. Zhao Lusi's tearful moment under the national flag may have been heartfelt, but it also served as a prism, reflecting the public's complex feelings about the intersection of celebrity, compassion, and capitalism. In an era where attention is currency, true courage isn't found in a manufactured moment of tears. It lies in honest, difficult conversations, and in the willingness to show up, not as a savior, but as a fellow human being willing to listen and learn.